Developments overnight in tensions between Syria, the United States and the Middle East. Israel has revealed to the US that Russia plans an arms sale with Syria, and the Journal's national security correspondent Adam Entis joins us from Washington with details. Adam, good morning.
Good morning.
Adam, if this is true, this does not help matters, I presume, in the US efforts to help settle tensions in the region. Where does it take us?
Well, I mean, what it really shows is this underlying tension between the United States and Russia over how to deal with the situation in Syria. And the Russians are showing that they're not backing down from their partnership with Assad, who the U.S. wants to see step aside.
And what exactly is it that the Russians are said to be delivering to Syria?
Right. This is a very advanced ground-to-air missile system called the S-300. Which is the kind of system that the U.S. had sought to block the Russians from selling to the Syrians at the end of the Bush administration. And Bush administration officials who we spoke to for this story told us that they were successful in stopping that deal. So for the Russians to revive it now, as we reach sort of a tipping point, potential tipping point in the conflict in Syria, would be a very clear message to the United States and to other Western powers and Arab allies of the United States that they need to keep their distance from what's going on in Syria and not try to intervene.
Well, and also would actually physically make it difficult, right? I mean, these are fairly sophisticated surface-to-air missiles and would make it a lot harder for planes to get in there.
Right. I mean, the Syrians already have a world-class system that American officials are already very concerned about and feel would be very difficult to penetrate and maintain a presence over for a sustained period of time. So you throw in the mix this new system, and it becomes much more deadly. And in fact, the U.S. had lobbied very hard for Putin not to sell the system for years because it was worried that the Syrians were going to pass it to the Iranians, who would use it to defend its nuclear sites, including Fordo. So this has definitely been on the American radar for a long time, and the officials that we spoke to are reviewing this Israeli intelligence to see how imminent they feel the deal is. The Israelis believe the sale could go forward as soon as 3 months from now. So this is all coming to head right now, and it's likely to raise tensions between the U.S. and Russia.
Now, one of the problems, of course, is that there's none of these parties are ever, disinterested parties, and as top-notch as the Israeli intelligence can be, there's often an agenda there as well. And then we know there's often been doubts about Israel's take on Iran's preparedness.
Well, I think what we've seen repeatedly here is the Israelis will be the first to get the intelligence about prospective transfers of arms from Russia to Syria or Iran, and then typically what happens is the Israelis come and make their case to the Americans to try to get the Americans to effectively go to the Russians and go to the Europeans to try to lobby against it. So it's a way that the Israelis typically respond to this sort of thing. As for the information itself, the officials that we spoke to are not dismissing it. I mean, they are looking at it very closely. So it's not so much that the sense is that the Israelis may be ginning up this intel. What could be the case, and what some officials have suggested, is that this could be a message that the Russians are trying to send to the Obama administration, which is now looking at arming the rebels in Syria. So in other words, it's a way of Russia to show that it has leverage in this conflict, and it's a way for them to exercise power, which they're attempting to do, which they have done by fulfilling arms contracts with the Syrians over the U.S.'s objections since this conflict began in March 2011.
Wow, it's an incredibly complicated geopolitical story. Adam, thank you very much, and you'll, of course, be staying on top of this as it moves ahead. We appreciate your time.